Fans of Little People Big World will be deeply disappointed by this news. Amy Roloff was hospitalized following a car accident on the road. Greetings all and welcome back to the channel. Amy Roloff, the protagonist of Little People Big World, is the subject of today's startling news. Regrettably, Amy was involved in a car accident earlier today. We will provide a comprehensive overview of the situation, including the latest information on her condition, the circumstances surrounding the incident, and the reactions of supporters. Amy Roloff's initial appearance on Little People Big World, a program that chronicled the Roloff family's life on their Oregon farm, captivated television viewers. Amy's voyage as a small person has been characterized by the formation of enduring alliances, the surmounting of obstacles, and the dissemination of her growth to the world. Amy's determination to live life as she sees appropriate, her passion for her farm, and her grand demeanor all contributed to her notoriety. Amy's supporters consistently admired her optimistic demeanor in the face of adversity, regardless of whether she was navigating the intricacies of her relationships or relishing family vacations. On the morning of June 22nd, the news that Amy Roloff had been involved in an automobile accident was unexpectedly disclosed. The specifics of the incident were still being finalized, but preliminary reports suggested that she was operating a vehicle when a vehicle abruptly entered her lane. At the time of the collision, Amy was traveling on the New York highway. The collision resulted in substantial damage to both vehicles, as indicated by preliminary reports from local authorities. Emergency personnel promptly arrived at the location, which was fortunate. Medical personnel were attempting to ascertain the complete extent of Amy's condition, as she was admitted to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Amy's followers are understandably concerned. However, her status is currently reported as stable. It is never a pleasurable experience to learn that their beloved public figure has been involved in an accident, particularly when it occurs in a sudden manner. Amy has received an overwhelming amount of affection and support on social media during this difficult period, as was to be expected. Amy's supporters have been praying and expressing condolences to her from all over the globe since the tragedy, wishing her a speedy recovery. Similar messages have been received from friends, fans, and former co-stars. Amy has unquestionably established a network of individuals who authentically care about her well-being. Amy Roloff has encountered numerous challenges throughout her existence, including her health, relationships, and physical appearance. She has been forthright about her challenges throughout the years, which have included navigating the challenges of divorce and co-parenting, as well as overcoming health conditions. Amy has refused to surrender, regardless of her health challenges. Her fortitude and determination have been remarkable, regardless of whether she elected to undergo surgery to improve her quality of life or encountered back discomfort. But this tragedy presents Amy with a new challenge to overcome, and we are confident that she will confront it head-on, given her history. Amy has been updating her followers on her recovery via social media since the accident. She has been taking it easy and unwinding, but she has not given up faith. In her initial post-accident update, she expressed gratitude to her followers for their supportive messages and assured them that she was in the capable hands of her medical team. It is not unexpected that Amy is preserving her optimism in the face of this challenging period. She has consistently drawn fortitude from her family, her faith, and her admirers. Amy's commitment to her family, admirers, and property has remained unwavering, despite the numerous obstacles she has faced in her personal life. She is not demonstrating any indication that she will allow this incident to impede her progress on her forthcoming projects, whether they are on or off the screen. Amy's fans are eager to observe her as she continues her voyage, whether it involves managing the Roloff farm, spending time with her grandchildren, or imparting her knowledge to her followers. Amy has consistently maintained her integrity. She is regarded as one of the most beloved television personalities due to her unwavering determination, which has garnered her a great deal of respect. What is the future of Amy Roloff in light of this tragic event? At present, she is prioritizing her recovery and spending time with her family. We recognize that her journey is far from complete, and that she has a promising future ahead of her. Amy's voyage will serve as an inspiration to millions of others, regardless of whether she opts to remain on the farm, pursue new opportunities, or simply relish the minor blessings of life. We will be present at every opportunity, providing her with encouragement and observation. These days, Amy Roloff is not particularly pleased with Matt Roloff. As is widely recognized, the mother of 4 has protested her ex-husband's treatment of their children, particularly when he decided to sell his farm in Oregon. Amy believes that Matt's failure to provide his sons with an opportunity to purchase the property prior to its sale is regrettable. Nevertheless, Roloff revealed in the most recent episode of Little People, Big World, that her issues with Matt are much more profound and have a much longer history than this. On air, the following transpired. Amy became quite agitated while she and Marek, her second spouse, were discussing the cultivation of the reality star's herb garden. At one juncture, Amy directed Chris's attention to the garden and attempted to elucidate their minor disagreement regarding the sowing plans, stating, "We are approaching this matter from a distinct perspective, and our understanding is varying." Marek confessed in a confessional, "I believe I am articulating it in a manner that is both rational and logical, and it is comprehensible. I am occasionally irritated when Amy fails to comprehend, but there is no necessity for a confrontation." The term elicited an unusual level of irritation in Amy. After the couple appeared to reach an accord and Chris congratulated them on their ability to negotiate, she disclosed the reason in a confessional of her own. "I am of the opinion that it is significantly influenced by my efforts to be exceedingly cautious about my appearance and the way in which I am perceived by others throughout my life. I am acutely aware of this, as it only requires one minor infraction to result in termination." Amy then reflected on her past in order to further elucidate this concept. "I have a tendency to be somewhat more sensitive as a consequence of my upbringing and my ongoing endeavor to conform to the expectations of others. I acknowledge that these factors undoubtedly played a role in my marriage to Matt. I did not consistently feel as motivated or supported, and when this occurs on a regular basis, it can lead to feelings of discouragement. Amy and Matt have been married for over 2 decades and have 4 children together. Despite their 2016 separation, the celebrities remain amicably cohabitating, as evidenced by their ongoing production of their reality show. Nevertheless, Amy asserted that Matt had previously deceived on her with his current fiancée Karen Chandler, and it is evident that a significant amount of resentment remains. Nevertheless, Amy clarified in the same episode that her issues with self-esteem are not exclusive to Matt and their strained relationship. Chris made a comment at one point, "I believe that at the outset I had to occasionally encourage Amy to engage in conversation," to which his wife concurred and responded, "I am of the opinion that I experienced internal conflicts. Furthermore, I was concerned that he would exit the room if I made an error." At this juncture, Amy ultimately succumbed to her emotions and proceeded, "I occasionally find myself transported back to my childhood. In other words, I am delighted that he regards me as capable." Chris subsequently exhibited his competence as a keeper. At that moment, he murmured, more to his wife than to the cameras, "More than good enough," as he bowed down and gave her an embrace. Amy Roloff, the star of the television series Little People, discusses her apprehension that her body would not be capable of accommodating twins. Amy Roloff, the protagonist of Little People, Big World, also disclosed her personal experiences with anxiety, pregnancy, and infertility. In doing so, she granted her devotees access to a previously unknown aspect of her narrative. Amy is currently the fortunate mother of 4 grown children, Molly, Jeremy, Zach, and Jacob. Additionally, she derives delight from being the grandmother of 7 grandchildren. However, she encountered numerous obstacles in her journey to this juncture. During a recent Facebook Live in May 2025, Amy candidly discussed the challenges she faced during the birth of her 4 children, as reported by In Touch Weekly. Amy conversed with her companion Lisa Dixon during the session. Lisa acknowledged Amy's long-standing desire to have children during the conversation, while also acknowledging the challenges she faced in conceiving. Amy then disclosed that her childhood illness had further complicated her voyage, prompting her to question whether it had contributed to her infertility issues. Regrettably, Amy's irregular menstrual cycles exacerbated the challenges she and her ex-husband Matt faced in conceiving. Amy proceeded to elaborate on her circumstances, stating, "I was never certain when that time of the month would arrive, as I was not a typical person." She disclosed that she had sought the assistance of a reproductive professional in order to illuminate her journey to motherhood. The process of conceiving was challenging. Additionally, we were aware that it was feasible to have more than one child. Because Amy was a small individual, she was required to take additional precautions on her journey to maternity. That was a cause for concern. She publicly acknowledged her apprehensions. "I was aware that I could carry one infant due to my diminutive stature. However, was it feasible to transport two? Would I be capable of transporting 3 items?" She related that I fervently prayed, "Lord, please do not place me in a situation where I would be compelled to let go of 1 or 2 because my body could not handle it." Amy was apprehensive that she might be required to undertake a reduction procedure if she became expectant with twins or triplets. Fortunately, the delivery of her twins, Zach and Jeremy, was uneventful. The challenges persisted even after Amy gave birth to her twin sons. In her video, she explicitly stated that this experience was exceedingly challenging for her. After giving birth to her twin sons via C-section, Amy confided in Lisa that she felt lonely. Since Matt and she relocated to Oregon, she declared that she was alone. Matt was obliged to care for 2 infants as a result of his business obligations, which Amy found to be a significant burden. The future of the Little People Big World star is expected to be filled with love, hilarity, and the companionship of a very special individual, as she recently accepted a proposal from Marek. Amy must, however, reconcile herself to the past before she can anticipate the future. This issue has become increasingly important due to Amy's apparent passive-aggressive behavior toward either her ex-husband, his fiancé, or both just a few days ago. Roloff composed the subsequent text and incorporated a photograph of herself at her family's property during pumpkin season. "I am truly missing the opportunity to interact with so many of you and to dress up. Although I was not particularly engaged in pumpkin season this year due to a variety of factors, I hope you are enjoying the beautiful season of autumn." At first glimpse, this caption may seem innocuous. Nevertheless, numerous observers have concentrated on the phrase for a variety of reasons and have construed it as a reference to Amy being effectively disregarded by Karen Chandler. Chandler has been in a relationship with Matt Roloff for years, and her impact on the property has grown stronger with each passing season. Matt shared a photo of Karen on the property at the same time that Amy mentioned that she wasn't really involved in this year's pumpkin harvesting. It is also important to remember that Amy accused Matt of spying on her with Chandler near the conclusion of their marriage. Amy has sold a portion of her farmland to Matt several weeks ago, and she is currently in the process of preparing to relocate to a residence that is not on the property. As a result, a source has disclosed to Radar Online that significant changes are imminent for the reality personality. The insider informs the publication that Amy is comfortable with the idea of transitioning off the farm and that the grandmother of 2 is managing the situation as well as she can at this time. She has made significant strides. Amy has occasionally acknowledged that it was challenging to obtain a